Hey, it's me with a slightly different setup. Not really. I know there's a lot of colors going on. I got the Dynaco blue. I got teal. I got gray. I know, just deal with it. Anyways, I wanted to make a. I'm gonna look at this list, talking about the worst horror movie remakes. I don't know why this channel is like taking a complete horror turn, but horror is lovely. It's a good genre. Anyways, so this is like the worst horror movie remakes, and let me see when this was made. Hold on. Let me see when this list was made, so that way I can judge it based off of if they include certain movies. Okay, 2017. If it does not include the Carrie remake from 2013, I think it was released. I am so passionate. I passionately dislike the remakes of Carrie. The book, okay, I'm reading the book. The book is so scary. Like it's creepy and it's chilling but it's so good. Can I just tell you that right now? Okay. Some of these I probably will just skim over. I haven't even seen some of the originals, which I know I'm putting it on my list. Let me see. 13 Ghosts. And what I like about this list is that it has two, what's it called, categories, where it will say why it fails to understand the original and how it fails on its own. So I think that's really funny. 13 Ghosts. I haven't seen that one. It says, look, I won't sit here and tell you William Castle's 1960 fright flick 13 Ghosts is some sort of masterpiece, but it might as well be when you compare it to the 2001 remake 13 Ghosts. If you want to be a jerk about it, Castle's chills and thrills are traded in for bombast, unfunny jokes, Matthew Lillard stumbling around the film like he's about to lose his damn mind. Oh, I like Matthew Lillard. Why it's bad on its own. Even if 13 Ghosts wasn't a remake, it still stinks. There's no nuance to the film, which is fine, but it also doesn't understand how to be an over-the-top spook show either. It just sort of exists, occasionally hurling shrieking ghouls at you, which is a shame because the makeup work created for the ghosts is actually quite impressive. Too bad we barely get to see any of it since the ghosts are constantly filmed in jittery, quick cuts, which I guess is supposed to be scary, but probably just to give you a headache. They remade Friday the 13th. I've seen Friday the 13th movies. I haven't seen the first one. I've only... Because if you guys know anything about that, Friday, you don't get hockey mask Jason until the third part. Part 3, I believe. They remade Friday the 13th. I knew that. They've remade the 13th. Maybe remade Halloween. There's going to be another Halloween coming out. This is kind of sad that I think it's from 2009. Yeah. You might watch the trailer to see what this person means, too. Really shouldn't be that hard to remake a Friday the 13th film. The formula is painfully simple. They're right. Jason, a hulking hockey mask ghoul, runs around offing horny teens who have dared to invade his summer camp. There, that's it. Why is that so hard to grasp? This 2009 remake doesn't get it. It's slick where it should be gritty, and while it strives to achieve some of the playfulness of the original franchise, it's a way too far up its own ass to pull that off. There's a scene in this movie where Jason shoots someone with a bow and arrow. Then the scene cuts to Jason's childhood bedroom, where an archery trophy can be viewed. As if the filmmakers had a meeting and said, okay, I really need to explain why Jason knows how to shoot a bow and arrow. No, you don't. Okay, that's funny. Oh my goodness. That's just bad writing. That's just bad writing. We need to explain how he knows. I mean, you can not be a archery champion and know how to shoot a bow and arrow. I'm sorry. Why it's bad on its own. There's not a single character in a movie worth paying attention to. Yes, the original Friday films were loaded with disposable characters, but they always had at least one or two people you gave some sort of a crap about. Here it doesn't matter which of these goons Jason goes after first. There's always an abundance of pop-based humor which feels completely out of place. The entire opening of the film is a group of youngsters trying to find a mythical marijuana field. which I guess Jason is growing. Who the hell knows? Oh my gosh, really? Okay, before we watch this trailer, I think it's part 3, and they made a stoner character, and one of my favorite things I watched in that movie was, it was one of the funniest things where this guy was smoking a joint and he's in some sort of an outhouse, and Jason's coming for him, and it's shaking, like the entire outhouse is shaking, and he just looks at his joint, and he's like, whoa. Like, it was the funniest thing. Like, the way they did it. Let me look at it. So, it centers around marijuana? The fuck? I don't get paid for doing YouTube, so I can say whatever I want. This was New Line released this? Oh no. He was my son. Oh. Ew, this is already painful. Oh, that cast. You know when there's like these former tween stars and you see them in other movies, and they just disappoint you, and they can't break that image or something. And then one day, some of them actually like say, "Hey, oh, Diana Agron was in this," or however you say her last name. She did this? Michael Bay. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, they had Jared Padalecki, is that how you say his last name? He did this movie? He's cute. I have to say, he's cute. You know the guy, Sam from Supernatural. Okay. Whoa, they had a lot of people in this movie, but that's not gonna save your fucking movie. If it's shitey. Because they think people are just gonna be like, well, I don't want a remake, but so-and-so's in it. That was smart on their part. What was I gonna say before that? Oh my gosh, I don't remember. I'm like losing my mind. Like, okay, like, those like former like Disney and Nickelodeon stars, and you're just kind of like, I don't know if I'm a fan. They seem kind of lame. And then they what's her name? Vanessa Hudgens. I've never like disliked her, but she did High School Musical. She did like the whatever Disney Channel star is. I'm like, okay, whatever. I saw her in Grease live, and I was just like, fan. Like, same with Keke Palmer. I never disliked Keke Palmer either, but it's like, wow, they're showing that, hey, they're talented. They're more than just like a tween star or a teen star. Like, I applaud you girls. You guys kill it in that thing. And I watch whatever else you do, depending on what it is. Uh-oh. Oh no, dude. I wouldn't know from the freaking signs. I'll give it to him. Jason looks pretty good. Machete. Uh-oh. What I don't understand is why they never, like, in these slasher movies that isn't Nightmare on Elm Street, because I understand he's, like, in your dreams, but, like, why doesn't no one ever, like, shoot the guy? I guess they're gonna make slashers just have magic now. Like, uh-oh, Jared Padalecki is getting messed up. I mean, sometimes with certain, like, I know they're classic slasher. Sometimes with certain slasher, I just can't get behind. Because it's just like, just shoot the dude. The Hitcher. I haven't seen the original Hitcher. Sorry. 1986. The 80s are a good, what's it called? Decade for horror, I have to say. Robert Harmon's queasy 86 thriller The Hitcher pitted, I don't know how to say, Rutger Hauer against C. Thomas Howell, and it was kind of wonderful. This 2007 remake trades in the things that made the 86 film unique, including a not-so-subtle queer subtext for a boring chase movie. Sean Bean is pretty good at the murderous Hitcher, but he can't hold candle to Rutger Hauer's almost otherworldly performance. Why, it's bad on its own. Do you like point-and-shoot movies where the director apparently sets up the camera, lets it roll, then knocks off a bit for a nap while the actors are performing? If so, you love The Hitcher. The film's director, Dave Meyers, has never made another feature film after this. And I'm not even a little surprised about it. Let's see the trailer. The trailer's supposed to make it look good, and sometimes you look at the trailer and you're like, I don't even want to see it after the trailer, so let's see. Sometimes the trailer will only have the only good parts of the movie, and then you see the whole movie and you're like, this is crap. A bulk of it. Oh, I went full screen. I didn't want to. This is crap. So, you give me a lift, a stranger? I can already tell, is a horrible actress. I don't know. Wait, she looks kind of familiar. It's a cool car. Don't let strangers in your cool car. Ooh, what is the weird filter they put? That's a Snapchat filter, y'all. Before Snapchat even existed. They put a Snapchat filter. Or Windows Movie Maker filter over this. I'm not even kidding. I am not even kidding. Ooh, poor frog. It's a stuffed frog. They put, oh my gosh, a Windows Movie Maker poster, a filter, over this parts of this movie. I'm not joking. Wow. Whoever is like the color correction, is doing color correction. Wow, were they just like, hey, like, let's do it like a crappy, like, filter we can get with, like, free software. Is it, like, supposed to make it look a little bit comic book-esque? Because, what? Okay, that's bad on its own, and the girl just seemed like not the best actress. Like, what? When a stranger calls... I didn't even know they remade The Omen. That's... How do you take a movie about a child that may be the son of the devil and somehow make it boring? Asks John Moore, who directs this remake, and as if he had a bet going with the crew about which scene he can make the most lifeless. Poor Liev Schreiber is trying his best to carry this remake on his back over the finish line, but he just can't get there. So it's just boring as heck. The Haunting. Okay, I've heard of that. Haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. The Thing. They remade it 2011. 86 was a remake, and it was good. I need to see that. I haven't seen any clips. The Thing, if you guys have seen the one with Kurt Russell, that's an amazing movie. I haven't seen... That's... What's her name? Is that Mary Elizabeth Winstead? Wow. They put a female in there. Because the 80-something one, it's not 86, didn't have any girls. It had, all guys. So they're like, let's... Oh, Angela Edgerton. If I can speak today. Is she Mac? Is she Mac? That has to be her. She's a great actress. A lot of guys, like, if you Aw, puppy. She's the only girl. At least they. That has to be her. Joel Edgerton is so handsome. Can I just say that? Oh no, blood. It has to be her. I think she's the Mac character. Ah! Oh, that CGI looked really funky. This is the problem. Like CGI, it's either done really well and used properly, or it's horrible. This is why, you know, when they didn't have CGI, I like the practical effects, and I like that everything is molded and that it's all physical, if that makes any sense. Kate. Well, shite. Something. And then it says the thing. Okay, now let me see. John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake itself, but it's one of the best possible examples of a remake. Sometimes they do a good job. The remake of Carpenter's film The Thing is not. The case can be made so that it's technically a prequel, not a remake. Oh, it's a prequel. But it looks exactly like there's a dog and I don't know. It kind of looks like a remake to me. But no, I refuse to accept that. The film is also called The Thing, so therefore a remake. Don't play your title games with me. While Carpenter's film is an icy, gross-out work of terror, complete with some of the most mind-blowing special effects you've ever seen, 2011 is rife with terrible CGI. None of it very convincing. What made the Carpenter film so disturbing was the fact that the practical effects really made it seem like it was happening. Here, everything looks like a cartoon. Wait. Hold on. Story, okay, why it's bad on its own. Story like this, involving a team of isolated scientists trapped in a claustrophobic space with an alien life form, should seem, well, claustrophobic. Because that's the way it is. You're stuck in one place and you can't really leave. Instead, director, I can't say that, so I'm not going to attempt it. The director shoots everything wide, giving the film the feeling of being shot on Hollywood backlot sets and not taking place somewhere remote. Mistake. Also, while there are some good actors in this film, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, okay, it is her, none of them seem to know what they're doing. Worse than that, these characters who are meant to be isolated together for months have zero chemistry together. It's as if they just met the minute before the director yelled action. Ooh. Is that Brad Dourif in the Halloween remake? A lot of people like the remake of Halloween, but they don't. Is that Brad Dourif? You know who I'm talking about. You know Brad Dourif. He's Chucky, and he's been in Wonderful Cuckoo's Nest, a bunch of stuff. I'm kidding. If Nightmare on Elm Street and Carrie 2000 whatever it was is not on here, I'm gonna be pissed. Because Rooney Mara, I didn't think the character was just terrible. She's supposed to be the heroine in that movie, and it wasn't good. I like Rooney Mara usually, but it's like. So I don't know what that was. Uh-oh. I wear a mask. Because I am upset. Uh-oh. She looks familiar too. Uh-oh. That's a dirty ass mask, Mikey. That is Brad Dourif. That has to be. has to be. I'm looking it up now. Has to be him. He's a copper. Sorry, that music. It has to be. There's even Rob Zombie made it too. They're making another, what's it called? Based on a film written by John Carpenter. Screenplay, Rob Zombie. Directed by Rob Zombie. Music supervisor, Rob Zombie. It's like when you do, like, the group project all by yourself, like, Rob Zombie and Associates, or something. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm trying to figure out if that's definitely, that's has to be him. I know Brad Dourif when I see him. I want validation for myself. 2007. Hold on. Yeah, that is him. He was a sheriff. That is him. I knew it. I'm like, Wicker Man. We all know that that's terrible. It's just over the top. Black Christmas. I think that had Alicia Chabert in the remake. I need to see the other Michelle Trachtenberg, who I don't really care for her stuff usually. I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying she's not really The Fog, I know, was terrible. I tried watching it and couldn't. Thank you. Number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street. Wes Craven's original Nightmare on Elm Street has by now become a horror classic, and rightfully so. Craven took a rather brilliant idea, people being stalked and killed in their dreams. Exactly, this is why this is like the best slasher villain. But he sure kills them in the waking world as well, and created a nasty boogeyman in the process. The Freddy Krueger Craven created is an odious, probably not saying that correctly, unsympathetic monster. The 2010 remake, for some very strange reason, thought it would be a good idea to make it seem like Freddy was a sympathetic character to be pitied, only to change their mind at the last minute. It doesn't work at all, and try as he might, Jackie O'Haley just can't make his take on Freddy scary. Yeah, he wasn't that scary. He was okay. More. Why it's bad on its own. Rooney Mara is a great actress, but oh boy, does she stink in this movie. Mara later said she hated working on this film so much she almost quit acting afterward, and I can believe it. Her take on Ultimate Final Girl Nancy is an utter snooze. Yeah, she was, like, so boring, and it's like I'm supposed to root for this chick. She's supposed to be kicking ass. Like, what? No. I'm not sure if, since the character is supposed to be sleep deprived in a quest to avoid Freddy, Mara intentionally played her as if she's a zombie. Yeah. Or if the actress is just so bored with the role she didn't even bother to emote. Either way, it doesn't work. On top of that, director Samuel Bayer films the whole thing very bluntly with no real style or grace. Ooh. Okay, this movie too, also, the CGI when they make Freddy look like he's in the wall is freaking terrible. It looks just like when someone is just learning how to, like, in the beginning stages of learning how to do, like, graphic design and all the how to do CGI. And then it's like, you never thought like something like putting a spandex sheet thing in front of a hole in a ceiling would look more real, and a guy pressing down on it would look more real than a freaking CGI. God, it was terrible. I like practical effects a lot. And yeah, Rooney Mara was not good in it. They had some things going for it, like where they were going to go into like the whole scientific, when you lose sleep and you haven't slept and you're sleep deprived, you go into, I guess, micro naps. They could have gone somewhere with that, but they didn't. And yeah, they tried to make him like sympathetic. No. Cabin Fever, Day of the Dead. Last one. I didn't really talk about all of it. I will leave a link in the description, and you guys can, I'm copying the link now. You guys can check it out on your own. It's interesting to talk about horror remakes. Not all of them are bad, but a lot of them, like remakes are just bad. And I highly recommend, if you guys are into Carrie, watch the the book is really scary, and the book is really creepy, and you're kind of just like, oh, I feel bad for this girl. And the mom, I feel like you get a more, the mom, I feel like, how do I word this? Like, she seems a lot more crazier in the book. Like, I know Piper Laurie is so good at being crazy, but like the book, you're like, oh my gosh, she did that too, to her child. And then watch the 1976-75 version. Very good. Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie both nominated for Oscars. So, peace out. See you in the next video. I know, why is it that shadow have like an eye patch almost? It's so strange because it's like, I can't, it's like opposite in the, I don't know. Bye.